was a significant salary and benefits that I gave up to start with nothing.
Yeah,
so I mean,
it's terrifying.
I probably wasted a lot of money. I spent probably $250,000 the first couple years. In the Army, you can't say, well, sir, I didn't cross the bridge because the kids were sick and the car broke down. I got a flat tire. One thing led to another. Where do you get $1 million or $2 million in a few days? I do it right on my phone, and next day I got $1.5 million sitting, or 2 days later I got $1.5 million sitting in my bank account. I closed on the deal.
Amazing. Okay, this is a little bit different flavor than we've done in the past.
All right.
So brick by brick is like, it's for business owners, people that are building. The whole motto or the whole theme is you're trying to build, one story, one relationship, one life at a time that we're impacting. And so for you, someone who's built a business, you went from the career channel to TomHegna.com.
Didn't know anything about it.
Yeah. So talking about that, like, what was it like when you told your wife you were going to leave, like, safe, corporate, C-suite, Fortune 100 company to go be a public speaker?
She'd wanted me to do it for years, so.
Well, you're talented. Everybody knew you had it.
No, but she just knew how unhappy I was in the corporate.
Yeah. Just wasn't going to. But she was supportive in the sense. But you guys were probably set up pretty financially right there. Like, you had a good runway and could build it up and
We
stuff.
were pretty good, but I mean, still, it was a significant salary and benefits that I gave up to start with nothing.
Yeah,
so,
it's terrifying.
Yeah.
So when you went out on your own, who did you call first? Like, what was your strategy to get in front of people?
Well,
because now you're booked like 2 years out.
Yeah, what I did was I hired a company in Boston. What I did, I checked out these other speakers. What do they do? And then I kept seeing this Ictus. So I reached out to this company called Ictus in Boston, and that's where Paige was the president. That's where I met Robbie, and Robbie was my guy. But anyway, they helped me get my first book published. They helped me with that PBS TV special. Mm-hmm. But then she kind of got a little crazy. She died, by the way, which I'm not happy about. But she got a little crazy with me, and she started demanding a bunch of extra money. And we hadn't made an extra penny off of the PBS. And the truth be told, I didn't make any money off the PBS. It sure helped my image and everything, but it wasn't like it was a money maker, because they give everything away, and they want the stuff basically for free almost. So it was not a money maker, but she wanted me to double her pay, and I said, no, I'm not going to double your pay. We're not, unless my revenue doubles.
Right.
And so we kept going back and forth, and finally I just said, Robbie, I'll pay for you to move to Arizona. I'll buy you a used Mercedes, and you can start your own business and run it for me, and that's what we did.
Nice. So you started TomHegna.com. Robbie started the management of TomHegna.com.
Yeah, but I mean, it was probably 3 years that I was with Paige and Ictus in Boston, and she had a whole staff of like 5 people that helped me with publishing and everything. So
that's a problem for businesses, Tom. Like, marketers are always looking to acquire businesses as customers, and businesses are always looking for marketing because they think that's going to drive revenue. And I find that in our industry or in any industry, that can be really challenging, and the relationship can get weird. You start to see a little. I've seen that happen before. A marketer gets like a little bit of success, and all of a sudden they're like, "I should be being paid for this. This is great," and it's like that dynamic. What do you think business owners should do to protect themselves from wasting money on marketing?
Well, I probably wasted a lot of money. I spent probably $250,000 the first couple years. So I mean, I didn't take out any loans, but I got like a kind of like an early buyout package type thing, and I used that money, and I sponsored NAFA, I sponsored Gamma. I mean, those are $40,000-$50,000 sponsorships per year. You get ads in the magazines, and you get at the meetings and everything, and I got some speaking gigs through that as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wasted money. I did ads in America West Airlines magazine and all kinds of stuff.
Like the seat bag?
Yeah, I was trying. I did TV commercials. I mean, I was trying all kinds of different things.
Yeah.
But
social media was like barely.
Oh no, social media hadn't
was it even out?
No.
Okay.
In fact, my brother-in-law is the one who got me into social media. Said, "Tom, you really need to get on this social media." And I said, "Well, the only thing I've ever seen social media do is get people fired. Because in the corporate world, you get fired for liking something or sharing something that's on the edge of whatever. It could be morality, it could be race, it could be financial. If you say the wrong thing, boom, you get fired."
Yeah.
Well, he said, "You really got to get into it," and so I started building, and I got over 40,000 followers on LinkedIn, and like over 30 in Facebook, and I can communicate with these followers regularly, and I do.
Yeah, you're great on social media. I mean, we stay in touch on social media now, which is cool. Yeah.
I think the key is you got to post really good content,
right?
And then people are attracted.
I was gonna say you got to be careful, because there's a difference between a Tom Hegna and somebody who's just trying to post crap out. I mean, you have amazing content, but that's due to how many years had you spent in that field before you? I mean, you had the knowledge.
Over 30 years. But the deal that I tell young people is you want to build your social media presence as big as possible, because then you can watch your social media. They tell you when they had a baby. They tell you when they're getting married. They tell you when their mother died. They tell you when you got a promotion. And all those are life events that, at least in the insurance and investment world, that's when people make decisions. And so I tell people, if you could get a few thousand people connected with and then just watch it, every day you'll have 3 or 4 or 5 people you can call. Hey, I see you're having a baby. I got a, I used to have one of those Snoopy bibs at MetLife, and I'd stop by their house and give them a Snoopy bib or something.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing. Talk to me about your guerrilla marketing in the old Met days that you would do. Like, I didn't know you did Snoopy bibs. I know you had a deal where you would, you had pennies and you'd move them across your desk based on how many calls you made. Well,
that was for me to stay disciplined. I'd have a cup on my desk with 15 pennies, and the deal is I had to ask 15 people for appointments. So if they hung up, I have to ask them for appointment. If I asked them, then I put the penny back in the cup, and when the pennies were back in the cup, I could go home. But I mean, even if you're busy, 15 doesn't sound like a lot, but you try asking 15 people every day for an appointment, plus do your illustration, plus do your appointments, plus do everything else. I mean, but it kept me disciplined. Yeah. And that's part of success, is being disciplined, having good habits and being disciplined.
How many years did you do the penny thing? Like, how long? Like, how many years should people prepare to put that time in counting pennies?
I mean, I was a producer for about 4 or 5 years. So it would have been those 4 and 5 years, and then I was a manager. And then I was a national marketing manager for Variable Life. So then my world changed from being just a producer to then being a speaker.
Do you ever regret leaving the field?
I don't.
I heard you were like the man, though. You were pretty good at what you did.
That's how I got in the business. Here I was 26 years old, right out of the Army, 27, 26. And Wayne Candace, if you remember, he started 1 year before me, and he was hitting it out of the park. And they said, "Man, you follow that guy, and you're going to be just fine."
Oh, Wayne was the guy that was leading you.
Wayne was ahead, but then I beat Wayne every year. And I tease him about that because he's been ultra super successful now. But I say, "Hey, Wayne, you got to remember, I beat you every year. We were in personal production together." But then
he was wasting too much time playing the trumpet, I think.
No, he's done a fantastic job, and his son Chris, they were both on a CNBC segment. In fact,
were they really?
Yeah, Wayne couldn't make the flight or something, and so Chris did it via Zoom the entire 30 minutes. And they did a 30-minute deal.
Did he really?
Chris, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I haven't seen. Last time I saw Chris, I think we were both like 11.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Now
so,
he's a wealth manager.
That's amazing. Yeah, him and his dad have done phenomenal. Did I ever tell you the story about how I wrote my first book was Wayne Candace's fault?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I ran into. So he used to work for Ameriprise upstairs.
Yeah.
And I'd run into him in the hallway. And so one day I stopped him and I said, "Wayne, you've been like so successful. Like, what do you?" He goes, "Dude, it's all about my book." And I heard, "Oh, he must have wrote a book," and that's how he became Wayne. So I started working on this book for like a year and a half. It wasn't until I published the book that I realized he was talking about his book of business, not an actual book.
Right.
But I owe him a big thank you for that, because if it wasn't for Wayne, I wouldn't have gotten into the book space, which was huge for me.
No, Wayne. So they said follow Wayne, and so I was very successful right out the gate. I made MDRT my first year, second year, third year, fourth year, and so then the other managers would ask me to come and speak. How are you doing it? So I had this 1 hour talk. Here's how I prospect. Here's how I market. Here's how I use answering machines. Because this was before voicemail. This was answering machines. Mm-hmm. And that came out, and that was causing everybody a problem because people were screening their calls on answering machines.
Oh.
And so they couldn't set appointments with
What was your class? Like, how'd you bust the answering machine? What did you do?
Hey, Daniel, Tom Hegna, you asked for more information on mortgage protection. Just so happens I'm going to be in your neighborhood next Tuesday. I will see you at Tuesday at 6 p.m. If that time doesn't work for you, please give me a call at blah, blah, blah number, and we can reschedule. And I would set the appointment on the
voicemail. And they'd be like, "Crap, I guess we got to let this guy come over."
Well,
and talk to us.
People say, "Well, you're gonna have some follow-up. People are not going to show up." Okay, I booked them 30 minutes apart. Now I can't see everybody 30 minutes apart, but now I'm in control. They're not in control. So boom, I show up. If they do it, I call, and then I was like, "Hey, Dan, I'm running late because I'm just swamped. I'm swamped. Can we meet next Tuesday?" Now I'm rescheduling, not they're rescheduling.
Nice.
So,
amazing.
I learned a lot from Harvey Cook too, because Harvey Cook was the big producer down here in Phoenix. And he was smooth, and I learned a few things from him.
Who were the guys that you looked up to when you first got into the business? Who were your mentors that really put their arm around you and taught you a lot?
Well,
I mean, now we have so many
Yeah.
that you can plug into
no,
any.
I would not be here without the Kinder brothers.
Yeah,
and
legends.
I found their videotapes and I just watched them over and over and over and over. And the Kinder brothers were awesome. And then Joe Jordan and Ted Kilkuski at MetLife. Joe was the annuity guy. Ted was the mutual fund guy. And I mean, Joe would come up with really neat ways of explaining things, and I would take it word for word and go out there, and it all worked.
Yeah.
He developed the equity generator. The equity generator is a fixed account of an annuity, but every month the interest went over into the market, so you'd never lose your principal, but then your interest could gain at a much higher level. That was the equity generator. That was really, if you think about it, almost the first indexed annuity.
I was about to say,
wasn't an indexed annuity,
right?
but-
That's an indexed
but
annuity.
It's very similar to
Crazy.
that. And then
Similar,
he had
yeah.
the equalizer. The equalizer is you put all your money in these different portfolios, and then every quarter it would rebalance. But he didn't call it. He called it equalizer because you know how you make money in the market. You buy low, you sell high. Guess what this does every quarter? Buys low, sells high. Every quarter, automatic for the rest of your life. The equalizer.
Amazing.
I mean, so he would just come up with this stuff, and it would excite me, and I would go out there and say it, and I wrote a lot of business.
So my dad went into management. I
Mm-hmm.
think around the time you went off into New York Life or something. I think you guys parted ways. But he went into management. He went into troubleshooting. So he had to deal with a lot of the unfortunate stuff that you would see in
Yeah.
our industry that was a bummer. And he said he came across this guy. They called him Shifty. You remember
Okay.
this guy?
I don't know. There were 50 people back then. I mean,
He had a program called the Loan. Oh my gosh, it was something where it was like the loan evaporator or something, some kind of crazy thing where he'd call up clients who had whole life policies and go, "Hey, did you get your check?" And they'd go, "What? I didn't get a check." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm from MetLife's check department. You didn't get your check?"
oh geez.
And he would send them a loan form to take a loan from their whole life policy, and then he'd have them buy a UL.
Oh man.
Crazy stuff,
Yeah,
like
no,
insane.
that-
So he troubleshooted like all the crap
Yeah.
that was in our business. Probably the reasons why there's compliance today. He
Well,
was
yeah, there were
helping-
some bad people doing bad things
Crazy.
back in the day.
Yeah.
There were.
Talk to me about the. Everybody said they either started at Met, Pru, or
New York Life or
Those
Mass Mutual
those
or-
were the three
yeah.
big carriers that
Northwestern.
came. Northwestern.
Yeah.
And you ended up going Met to New York Life, and then you ran their annuity division, didn't you?
No, I started out as an annuity wholesaler, and my territory led the company pretty soon I got promoted to, half the country, and then I got the national position, and then went in the home office, started out as an assistant vice president, then a vice president, then a first vice president, or I guess there was a corporate vice president. I got so many titles back there, but all of a sudden I'm one of the top 50 officers in a Fortune 100 company, but I'm not a home office guy. I'm a field guy, and
Yeah.
home offices think totally different than field guys think.
It must have been weird having a top producer get into the home office in
Yeah,
the back, like.
They don't even think this. I mean, they would come up with this idea, and I said, okay, let me tell you what's going to happen if you do that. Boom, 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 boom. This is going to happen. They go, well, we don't think that's true. We're going to do it. And, of course, what happened? Boom, boom, boom. Exactly
Right.
where I told them. Because I know how the agents think. I know how the managers think. And I
Right.
know when they come up with something that they think is going to do something, no, they're going to do something else with it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Tell me about what you learned in the military that you took with you to your corporate world and then into your business as well. Like what lessons that you
Well,
learned there that you still apply that are
Just
really
the
helpful?
self-discipline. That no excuses. Like in the Army, you can't say, well, sir, I didn't cross the bridge because the kids were sick and the car broke down. I got a flat tire. One thing led to another. We wound up in Czechoslovakia. No, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You got to accomplish the mission. And, no matter what, you got to accomplish. So when my job was to, see 10 people a week or whatever my number was, that was my job. I could not do that, so
Yeah.
I had to do it. And I had reward and punishments for myself. Like I love iced tea, but I would never get an iced tea for lunch unless I'd made a sale. And if I hadn't made a sale, I had to drink water. And so I do stuff like that,
I love that.
Hey, I was 26, 27. I'm trying to make it.
Yeah.
And
Where were you married then?
Yeah.
Okay. When did you get married? What age?
That'd have to be a whole nother story. The day we got married, neither one of us knew we were getting married. But I was in the Army.
Wait,
I was in the
what?
Army. It's not uncommon. I was in the Army. I got orders to go to Germany.
Okay.
And the Army doesn't send girlfriends to Germany. They only send wives. So you got to get married. And if you don't get married within a certain time, they don't have housing or anything. So we kind of were rushed. We kind of had to get married. So I had a 2-hour lunch break. On September 15, 1983, we drove to Bisbee, Arizona, which is the county seat, to buy a marriage license. We bought a marriage license, and then I said, how long do we have to wait to get married? Like, I thought I'm 2 week, 1 month. I didn't know. I'd never been married before. And she said, well, the judge is at lunch, but he should be back in about 15 minutes. And I looked at her and said, we're not doing that. We go outside and we start talking about it, and there's prisoners hanging out the windows. Hey, mamacita, come up here. I make you a real woman. You know? And so they're catcalling her, and so next
How
thing
romantic.
you know, we got married. The judge's secretary and the probation officer were the witnesses. I come back from my 2-hour lunch break. Nobody believed me.
That is hilarious.
And so we sent out announcements. We didn't send out invitations. And, of course, everybody in both families thought she was pregnant. And she wasn't, because Ryan was born 10 and a half months later. But they were all like counting down the days, because that would have been scandal back in those days, you know.
Yeah, shotgun wedding.
Anyway, but
so
you talk to military people, that is not uncommon at all.
That's how it happened.
Yeah.
I mean, is your wife's name Tracy?
Lori.
Lori, sorry. And what is...
Well, my old girlfriend was Tracy.
Oh, really?
And the funny story is Lori and Tracy were roommates at a different college.
No
I
way.
can't even make it up.
Oh,
I
my
can't
gosh.
even make it up.
Did you ask her parents for permission, or did you just have to make a decision on the spot?
No, because her parents didn't really like me. My parents didn't really like her. I was born and raised Baptist. She was born and raised Catholic. And they didn't... So... the way it worked out was the best.
That's good.
And now we've been married 43 years.
Holy cow, congratulations.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So is she kind of like the wife that's like involved in the business and career, or is she just like support at home? Like, hey, go do your thing, go conquer the world. I got the home.
Yeah, she ran the house, and I mean, very few women would have put up what she put up. I mean, I was on the road 200 days a year for 30 years.
Yeah.
There aren't many women that would do that.
No. I mean, you're basically like a comedian,
I mean,
or like one of these guys that lives on the road. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
so
she was like a single mom, kind of. But I'd be home on weekends and stuff. And I mean, we went on trips and we did stuff. But I mean, I give her 100% credit for raising all the 4 kids, and they, you know,
that's awesome. Man.
Now we get along better than we ever have. We're traveling all over the world. We're having a lot of fun.
That's beautiful. I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah. So, I had a guy on here. My pastor. His dad was a huge war hero. Fought in World War II, Vietnam, and Korea. And he talked about this thing called battle balance. Mm-hmm. And he said it's like when you're battling, the second you get done, go change your socks, go get something to eat, rest. Yeah. Because it's like you don't know when you're gonna have to be back at it again. You got to take care of it. But the rest was the theme. When you would get back from the road, what things did you do for your wife that helped kind of equal, like kind of balance out the house?
Probably didn't do what I should have. I probably didn't do as good a job. But I mean, you know, we always took nice trips. We always went on nice things. And I would watch the kids when she would go out and do stuff on the weekends and stuff. But I mean, she did an incredible job, really.
Talk about that sacrifice, Tom, because obviously you're Tom Hegna. Like, people look at you as like a celebrity in our business now, right? I mean, I know you don't like hearing that, but people love you. What does that mean to you now? I mean, there's probably had to be some serious sacrifice from all those days on the road. Like, how did you cope with that, and what was your kind of mentality about that?
It's a huge amount of sacrifice. And, you know, when people talk about balance, oh, you should live a balanced life. You should work out in the morning. You should do this. You should do that. You should spend time with the kids. You're never going to be the top person in the industry in anything if you're going to try to stay balanced every day. I don't believe it's possible. But I do believe over your seasons of life, you stay balanced. Like when I was a kid, all I did was play and play and play and play. And then you go to school and you study. Then you get a job and you work. And then you retire and then you travel and play. Over my life, I've been balanced. But at any season, I couldn't be balanced and get to where I've gotten, and I couldn't do that. I mean, it takes an all-in mentality. I mean, you listen to Kevin O'Leary, he'll tell you the same kind of thing. Like, you've gotta commit, and there's going to be sacrifice. And there are a lot of families. I watched, as a manager, how many wives hurt their husband's career. I saw it every day.
What does that mean? How do they hurt their career?
Oh, come on, I need you home. I'm going to the doctor. Won't you come with me? I mean, this stuff. And so the guy has to cancel his appointments to go to a doctor with his wife. I mean, they don't realize that that's not really how the world works. I mean, that's not how you're going to be super successful. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know it's controversial. I know people get ticked off, but I'm just telling you, I watched a lot of women sabotage their husband's career in this business.
Yeah.
Because they wanted them home. They wanted nice things. They want a nice car. They want a nice house. They want to take a nice vacation, but they want them home. Well, they're not going to be home. Yeah. You know?
It's true. Everyone that has sat in that seat that I've interviewed has said the exact same thing. Not about that perspective, but about you can't have the balanced, perfect life if you want to be a high achiever. Now, in your era, when you were a manager, it was probably a little bit closer to the more traditional model from like your parents, where it was like wife stayed home, husband worked, right? I mean, that was probably more common when you were a manager. Now you're seeing a lot of 2-income households. You know, talk to me about what you think parents have to do now. I mean, now you got mom and dad working and doing dishes, laundry. How do they do that?
I'm watching my own kids live a different life than what we did. 'Cause my wife was more of a traditional stay-at-home mom. So she was 4 kids, and they were separated by 15 years. So, I mean, she's 40 years she was raising kids.
God bless her.
But then, you know, my son Sean, he and his wife, they both work, and then they have to watch the kids together. So he has to take the kid to the childcare, then they pick them up, and they just juggle in their whole schedules. And then they both travel sometimes. So that's really hard. So different world. Glad I don't have to deal with it.
And no social media back then too, which was probably nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all good. I appreciate you talk to me about kind of like what it takes at home, what it takes at work to go be successful. Talk to me about your kind of hybrid retirement, because I wrote a book inspired by the work you've done over your career that really inspired me, called Buy Back Your Life. And the whole method is like, we're really good at changing our time for money, but people typically aren't as good at taking their money and changing it back into time and life experience.
Right.
I've seen you do it, which is incredible, because you're a high achiever guy that I thought would never retire. But every time I see you on LinkedIn and stuff, you're golfing, you're having fun, you're traveling still, but you're still out speaking and doing it.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that balance.
So I'm about 70% retired now. I play golf 4 to 5 days a week. I play
awesome.
pickleball 2 days a week. Lori and I travel all over the world. I love cruising because it fits my personality. I'm not a spender. I'm a saver. So I love just paying for a cruise, and then everything's covered. I don't have to take a penny out of my pocket. You know, so it fits my personality. But you know, I think I don't just talk the talk. I'm walking the walk. Everything I've written about, paychecks and playchecks, don't worry, retire happy, is what I've done.
Yeah.
I mean, I own 13 annuities. I got paychecks and playchecks coming in. I got, I have a big whole life policy that I moved more of my wealth into. My premium was $226,000 a year for 12 years. But all of that money plus more is in there now, and it's just growing.
What's your death benefit at? Do you mind?
It's right now a little over $7 million on
Nice.
that. And then I've got some other. We bought a second to die for the kids, and so I mean,
Nice.
I have the ability now to leave generational wealth, and I intend to do so. Okay, so we're spending all the money we can spend, but instead of leaving money, I'm trying to buy more leave life insurance, because you get leverage. Instead of leaving $1 million, I can leave $5 million. Instead of leaving $2 million, I can leave $10 million potentially.
Right. So Tom, why would somebody who's successful at business as you, has made as much money as you have, who's wealthy as you are, why would you own an annuity?
Because there's no other place I can put my money that'll give me a higher guaranteed paycheck for the rest of my life. There's no other place. Where can I find me a place that gives me a higher guaranteed paycheck for the rest of my life? I haven't found one. And you know, it's not like I'm against investments. I have investments. I have some Bitcoin. I have NVIDIA. I have Micron Technology. I have stocks too.
Yeah.
But the way the research shows is you should have 20 to 40% of your retirement portfolio in guaranteed lifetime income.
At what age?
Well, when you retire.
Okay.
So whatever age you retire, 20 to 40% should be in a lifetime income annuity. Then Ernst & Young says you should have 30% of your portfolio in whole life insurance, believe it or not, and then 40% investments. And if you looked at my own portfolio, it'd be pretty similar. The reason I think whole life is so important, I mean, whether somebody does IUL or whole life, let's just say permanent life insurance, why it's so important. It's a financial bunker, because, you know, when you think about it, back in 2000 and back in 2008, 2009, when things went down, everything went down. Stocks went down, bonds went down, gold went down, oil went down, gas went down, copper went down. You know what didn't go down? My life insurance didn't go down. You know what didn't go down? My annuities didn't go down. And I'm so glad to have that bunker that when everything else is falling apart, I got this part of my portfolio that's rock solid guaranteed. And I think anybody going into retirement who doesn't have some rock solid guarantees, look at this Leo Aschenberg or whatever. Do you see what happened to him? Like, he's this superstar stock picker. Oh, Micron's up 600%, and NVIDIA, I got you in there and got you 1,000% return on that. And he just started getting so smart, and he levered up. And then when all this AI stuff crashed, guess what? He got completely wiped out. He lost everything. Smart young guy loses everything. He had no bunker. He just thought, oh, the market always goes up. Yeah, it goes up until it doesn't.
Yeah. I've been helping a lot of entrepreneurs lately who have had made money really quick and then lost it really quick. And each one has said to me, when I make it back, the first thing I'm doing is building a bunker so that doesn't happen again.
That's right. Think of these pro athletes. They made 20, 30, 50 million, and now they're broke.
Right.
They should have taken some of that, bought some guaranteed lifetime income. They could have paychecks for the rest of their life.
But why do financial advisors not teach that? Like, they're so against it, right? It's like if you were to suggest that in a boardroom to these attorneys and advisors, they'd think you're like a moron. Like,
No,
why?
Not me, they wouldn't, because I'd pull out all the research. I mean, these aren't my opinions. This is the research of the leading PhDs in the world.
Yeah.
You know, are they smarter than the leading PhDs? I don't think so. And why do you need this stuff? Because bad stuff happens every once in a while. Every decade, something really bad happens.
Yeah.
And you're going to want to have some guarantees. You know, I've seen it my whole career, so I'm totally comfortable with annuities. I'm totally comfortable with whole life and IUL. Comfortable with it.
Yeah.
The thing about universal life, you have to overfund it. The problem with universal life is people try to get in on the cheap, and then all of a sudden those insurance costs go up, and then if they start taking money out, oh, my guy told me I could take out money in retirement. Okay, you take money out, you better have it really overfunded, because otherwise that thing can blow up. And so that's why I like whole life. It's just steady, you know.
Yeah.
It's not going to blow up.
It's crazy to me, Tom, how many guys I've been interviewing over here that are big in real estate, big in business. I had a guy here, he was like 38. He owns tens of millions in commercial real estate. This guy's he was going to buy the Phoenix Suns before Robert Sarver bought him. Like, he's ultra wealthy. And the first thing he showed me on his balance sheet, he has $6 million at One America in whole life.
Yeah.
And he was so proud of that. And he's like, and I was asking him, like, where's the disconnect happening between the really, really wealthy and then everyday people who are like, think it's a ripoff, you know? Where is that coming from? I still just I can't seem to piece that together.
The problem whole life has in it, you have this big premium. Like, I put in $226,000. What's my cash value after 1 year? Like, almost nothing. You know? It's a few $1,000s. You go, where did that go?
Right.
Oh, it went to that nasty agent who took all your money.
Yeah.
You got to look at, whole life is like a freight train, okay? A freight train, if you ever watch it, it goes really slow. But once it gets going, you can't stop it. That's like whole life.
Yeah.
It starts out slow, but now I've got, 13, 14 years in this thing, and I mean, it's just kicking out money left and right, and I mean, I can take tax-free money whenever I want. I bought 2 houses with it. I mean, think about it.
So, do you actually leverage it? Like, do you ever take loans against it to buy stuff?
I did it to buy 2 houses because in Arizona, you had to be a cash buyer.
Yeah.
You're not a cash buyer. You're not getting a house. They don't want to wait around for some mortgage approval. And
we just got voted the most
Yeah.
unaffordable state. Or we just got rated the most expensive state to live in.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
We used to be the cheapest state. But anyway, so, where do you get $1 million or $2 million in a few days? You can't, whole life, boom. I do it right on my phone, and next day I got 1.5 million sitting, or 2 days later I got 1.5 million sitting in my bank account. I close on the deal, then I pay it back.
Amazing.
Done it twice.
That's awesome.
So
the liquidity, the guarantee, the preservation. I mean, I get it. I'm just, trying to figure it out.
the tax advantages mainly. I mean,
Right.
You look at, we're $40 trillion in debt. We're paying more interest in the entire defense budget. It's totally unsustainable. When it's going to blow up, I don't know, but it is going to blow up. And when it does, they're going to have to, and you see these socialists getting elected now. What do you think? Do you think they want to keep taxes low? No, they want to double or triple your taxes to 80%.
Right.
And when that happens, people are going to be squawking. I'm going to be sitting pretty good because almost all my annuities are Roth IRA income annuities, so
Nice.
that's tax-free income.
Yeah.
And then I'll have this tax-free bucket in my life insurance. And so, I just think people ought to be thinking forward on taxes. Taxes are going to have to go up a lot, like double.
What do you think is going to happen with this AI? Is it a bubble? Is it for real? Is there enough computing power? Is it going to take over the world? What are your thoughts
No,
on
I
it?
mean, I use AI every single day.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned when AI starts making decisions for itself and starts hacking into other things. I mean, there's a lot of bad ways it can be
To what
used.
degree are you using it in your practice? Like, are you doing, or in your business? Are you doing research with it? Are you doing, like, how does it help you?
I do research. I mean, it helps me with when I need to update slides or update, like when I update this,
Yeah.
I can feed this in there. I can say, hey, update, and then it does a first take on everything and updates all the numbers, and then I can go in and make some further changes, but that's totally saves me time. My social media, since I started running it through Claude, I mean, I'm getting 47 reshares and, 100
Yeah, you're
likes.
blowing up.
And so Claude helps me just write it, and I'll find a good article. I say, give me 3 options on this one, and boom, that's been working out. And
Let's do this for a second because I wanted to pull this up because we had a post that did really well, and I wanted to bring up, if we can for a second.
Yeah.
There was a ton of comments. People hate us. Let me pull this up for us real quick here and see if I can get this going. Okay, I'm gonna go to TikTok for a second. And let's go over here. I just want to read a couple of these and get your thoughts on them if you don't mind.
Yeah.
But we had a post together that did like 40,000 views. Some people loved it. They were like, this guy's, you know, the second coming. And then some people were like, I hate this guy.
Oh, I get haters.
You do get some haters, man.
Because the haters are just, they're uneducated. They take the Ken Fisher commercial as
this one.
their
87,000 views.
Yeah.
This is probably our best post. Hang on, let's see. Let me see if I can pull this up. All right, so I was doing a Facebook or a TikTok live. One of my buddies was in it, and I was sitting with him. And this advisor, who was I'm not going to say what firm he was affiliated with, but he was one of those investor pro guys.
Yeah.
And he was saying if you ran the internal rate of return on an income annuity, you'd never sell one, and if you do, you're a moron. And what I said back to him was, I said, if you went to my 90-year-old clients' homes in their living rooms with their family and told them they should take their money out of guaranteed income to buy something that has a better internal rate of return, they would throw you out of their house.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on internal rate of return, and why is that such a poor lens to even have the conversation around lifetime income?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, the insurance company doesn't set the IRR. The client does, by how long they live. I can't tell you what your rate of return is until you tell me when you're going to die. You want a higher interest rate? Live longer. You want a higher interest rate than that? Live longer than that. I saw a paper that this CFA was putting out that annuities are only worth 70 cents on the dollar, and I'm reading this thing. And what he's saying is if you buy an income annuity and then you go to J.G. Wentworth, to sell it.
They need cash now.
They're only going to give you 70 cents on the dollar. I go,
Yeah.
well, okay, but who's buying an annuity to sell it at 70 cents on the dollar?
Right.
It's stupid.
Right.
And so he was saying that it's only worth 70 cents. No, it'd be like saying your car is the stupidest investment. And it would be because you paid $50,000 for that car. You drive it off the lot. It's only worth $40,000.
Right.
They're screwing you. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what they're trying to say. You get the car because you like the car and you want to drive around. I get an annuity because I want a guaranteed paycheck at a very high payout rate because of the mortality credits. Where else can a 70-year-old be guaranteed 10 or 11% a year for the rest of their life? Guaranteed.
Yeah.
No matter what the market does, no matter what interest rates do. How can you tell me that's a terrible deal? You can't tell me that's a terrible deal.
Right.
And with all this medical technology and AI, they're going to pretty soon shoot nanobots in your bloodstream that'll go and eat up all the cholesterol and go find the cancer and kill that, and it'll kill the diabetes and whatever else. People could be, Time Magazine said the first person to live to 140 is alive today. So, think about that. I want to take the insurance company to the cleaners. I want to live to be 125, 130, 140 and just keep getting those paychecks.
Yeah. Are you into the peptide thing? Are you doing peptides?
I'm not in the GLP-1s, but there are other peptides that are coming out.
Little NAD plus or anything?
I do NAD plus.
Okay,
yeah.
nice. All right, here let's watch the clip and then we'll react to some comments here. So this is the one that, so it says most friends waste money. Let's see if I can play this. Can we listen to it? Hang on.
Most of your friends are not putting their money into appreciating assets, they're putting them into depreciating assets. Cars, boats, RVs, jet skis, handbags, shoes, clothes. We all gotta have some of that, but we don't want to have the majority of our wealth going into things that go down in value every single day. And even worse, think about this: they're taking car loans and they're buying like a $80,000 car and they're paying interest on it. So they're paying like this while it's going down like that. You will never get wealthy doing things like that. And so, I just give some real practical advice. I said most Americans could become millionaires except for two simple things. Number one, they spend way too much money on their cars, and number two, they get divorced. So the moral of the story is drive a used car and stick with your first spouse. Most of your friends are not putting their money into
You did that.
Yeah.
This was when I interviewed you with the book that came out, So You Want to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah,
And
Who
we were
Wants to Be a
talking about,
Millionaire.
it's a great book. Okay, let's look at a couple of these. So let's see. So some people were like, thank you, appreciate the advice, like good stuff at this point. If you can't pay outright, don't pay. Okay, so you got some good stuff, solid advice, but there were some real, like crazy people in here. Hang on. I appreciate you. So you got amen, you got preach. A lot of these are actually really good, Tom. Let me see. Where did there's like definitely some trolls in here that I wanted to address. How about people that live for years below their means, driving the same car for 23 years, invested for 30 years, debt-free now, and are worth $2.3 million? They can pay cash for a $100,000 SUV and won't affect them. They earned it. Oh, that's one in your favor. Yeah.
That's kind of
You got some. You got actually, Tom. These are all really pretty good. For some reason, let me go to the bottom. When they first came out, I remember people being like, Okay, here we go. Oh, no. Let's see, multi-million, yeah. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this isn't true. As a multimillionaire who came from shit, if you're working a 9 to 5, making somewhat around $30 an hour, and not just to become a millionaire, especially now, you rent a car insurance, phone bill, gas, electric. These are all raising more than the wages are. They became a millionaire now. Now they need to worry about their job. I don't know what that means. Your income obviously don't buy shit you can't afford. Just not spending a lot on cars is not going to make you a millionaire. The divorce part is just fucking stupid. Excuse me, just freaking stupid. Find what you are passionate about and start your own business. That's it. Simple as effing that.
Yeah. Well,
I mean-
fine. It works for him. I say,
But that's
everybody
like-
can do what they want to do.
Right, yeah. I mean,
But 99% of people aren't going to go out and start their own business. They're just
right.
not.
Well, and Tom,
All
the
right?
statistics, share with us the statistics on people that get wealthy from starting businesses versus people that get wealthy from just saving money.
Yeah, I don't have those numbers.
But-
I don't know those numbers.
But I think most people in America built, like the first day I started at JP Morgan, that was the first thing they said was most people build wealth by consistent saving and investing over a
Yeah.
long period of time. That's not from starting a business or selling one
Right.
product or getting lucky or being an athlete. They're just consistent.
Right.
Over a
the
period of time.
janitor that becomes a millionaire because he put money into his 403B.
Dude, every
month.
UPS guy is a
Yeah.
multimillionaire.
Oh yeah.
All of them.
Oh,
Everyone that's
and
delivered.
the FedEx drivers and UPS. Oh yeah,
It's crazy.
They're all loaded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, every time they come in here, they're showing me their pools they built there because they're
Yeah.
selling stock and they got this stock for 30 years and they did great.
Yep.
So I guess what it comes down to is everybody's different. There is no one size fits all deal.
Right.
Right. But if you're retiring today and there's all this uncertainty, there's like wars happening, there's different things. People think we're going to go to digital dollar, crypto's freaking people out. AI is becoming really big. What would be your message to somebody retiring today?
So it's the 7 chapters of my Don't Worry, Retire Happy. Number 1, you got to have a plan. And you got to work with a financial professional. Retirement's not a do-it-yourself project. There are way too many moving pieces. I know it inside and out. I work with 2 financial advisors. Number 2, understand and maximize your Social Security benefits. Social Security is the largest retirement asset most people have, and yet they spend more time planning their summer vacation than learning how to do that. Number 3, do what I did, a hybrid retirement. Don't go cold turkey into retirement. Do something that you like to do for a few years and make a little extra money. Number 4, you got to protect yourself against inflation. So you do have to invest some money into stocks and real estate and crypto or whatever you think is going to go up. But number 5 is probably the most important. You want to have some guaranteed lifetime income, at least enough to cover your basic living expenses in retirement, and then you invest to protect yourself against inflation. Step number 6, another huge one that people forget about, you must have a plan for long-term care. Both my wife and I have unlimited benefit long-term care plans. You can't even buy what we have anymore, all right? But most people forget that, and that's the one thing that can wipe out everything they've got. Step 7, use your home equity wisely. Many people have a lot of money in their house, and there's ways you can get that money out. There's reverse mortgages. There's this new Chiefs program where they'll come in and buy a portion of your house, and they just sit on the title and until you sell your house, and they get a piece of it, but they give you cash up front for that. And then the most efficient way to leave wealth to children, grandchildren, and charities is with life insurance. Don't leave them money. Leave them life insurance. If you don't believe me, just figure out if you said, I want to leave my kids $100,000 each. Well, put that $100,000 each into life insurance. You might be able to leave them $250,000 or $300,000 each. Same money.
Yeah.
It's just use the leverage of the life insurance. Plus, it goes to them tax-free.
And does this apply for everybody, or is this mainly like the classic, hey, work for a corporation, W-2, 401k? Is that like the traditional model, or what about entrepreneurs? Would you give them the same?
Entrepreneurs need more guarantees. See, Dr. Moshe Milevsky wrote a book, Are You a Stock or a Bond? Are you a stock or a bond? Entrepreneurs are stocks, which means their investments should be more like bonds because they already got enough risk in the entrepreneurial. So entrepreneurs should not then be investing aggressively and wildly in crypto and everything because their job is already risky and now they're in risky investments. So his whole thing is, yeah, if you're a tenured professor at a university and you can't be fired and you got a salary of $150,000, you are a bond. You need to invest in stocks and risky stuff. But if you're an entrepreneur and you have a risky job, you need to invest more conservatively. And that's why many entrepreneurs go to whole life or they go to things that are more conservative because they want to make sure it's there and that it doesn't disappear.
I love that. I got to read that book,
Yeah.
Are You a Stock or Bond? So last couple questions. So you went from corporation to starting your own business. Did you ever have a down season? Did you ever have a rough season in business where you're like, oh, this might have been a mistake or it got difficult and you had to grit through it? Or
You know what's crazy is I really didn't. And I didn't know what was going to work or not. And I mean, it was a huge amount of risk, but I just, I just knew, I just felt it was going to work. And the nice thing is I'd already done a bunch of speaking across the industry before I left New York Life. So when I spoke at Top of the Table, and when I spoke at MDRT, and when I spoke at NAFA, I was still a New York Life officer.
Oh, I didn't know that. So when you did that big
got me
MDRT
exposure
Yeah.
right before I went out, because that was 2009, 2010. I went out on my own in 2011, and so that was kind of a springboard. And once people found out I was a free agent, then we got all inbound calls. We did no outbound marketing; it was all inbound. And so,
crazy.
yeah, that was good. And you know, what's hard is over time, because I've got so many materials out there. Well, now you got to update them. Oh, that's 2 years old. This is 3 years. That's hard.
Yeah.
I got books stacked up here. Well, now, you know, they changed the tax laws. They changed this. They changed that. Well, now RMDs are not 70.5. They're 73, and then they're going to
Yeah.
be 75. Well, that's hard when you got physical products.
Yeah, you got to update your manuscripts pretty consistently to stay relevant.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody, this is my last couple questions, what would you say to somebody who's going through a season like that, struggling to make payroll, they're scared, getting pressure at home, family probably is looking at them like they're nuts, but they have a vision, a belief, a dream, they know they're going to keep going. What would you say to that person in that season?
You got to keep going. And that was the one thing. I was the hardest worker I knew. If it took me 24 hours, I would work 24 hours. If it took me, 7 days in a row, long days, I would do it. So you can work yourself through a lot of that stuff. And but you got to be wise too, because you don't want to be stupid with risk, because you can get wiped out as a business owner. You can get wiped out like this Leopold I told you about. He had billions wiped out.
Well, look at Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, and all the different athletes.
Well,
that
yeah,
have
there's tons.
gone
It's
broke,
crazy.
yeah.
All right, cool. So last question. You got your kids are now in the business, coming into the business, working in business. What are you giving them advice? Like looking back to your kids, what are you telling them to do to get out in front of this thing?
So my oldest boy, Ryan, he's got retail stores. He's very successful.
He's like mega. I've got to get him on the show. He's
Yeah.
like mega entrepreneur.
Yeah, he big. He's been an entrepreneur since he was this tall.
Yeah.
My number 2 son, Sean, is an engineer in a big wiring firm, and with all this AI stuff being built, they're selling more wire than you can even believe. JJ just got out of the Army. He was a captain, and he's now my chief operating officer, and he got licensed life and health. So the plan is he's going to kind of run some of my day-to-day, but then he's also going to do some business.
Nice.
And then Sammy, she got her life and health license, and she's working for Cap Averill up in Ohio. She's still down here, but Averill Agencies is this. They have a huge family business. His dad was in business, and so it's really just servicing the book of business is what it is. And,
That's awesome.
And,
what a great way to learn the industry.
yeah,
servicing a book.
and most of the guys in the firm are pretty old, like 65, 70. And here's Sammy, she's 24. I said, Sammy, you play your cards right. In 5 years, that whole thing she could have a big role. So,
100%.
We'll see how it all turns out.
Yeah,
But
that's
they're
amazing.
all doing well.
That's amazing. What's your piece of advice for them right now? Like, what are you telling them?
I mean, they got to learn. People have stopped trying to learn things. You can't just do this on your own. I wouldn't have made it if I hadn't watched all those videos of Kinder Brothers. It takes time. You have to invest your time to learn from people who've already been there. Otherwise, you got to go out and make all the mistakes yourself. And,
Yeah.
You can either learn from other people's mistakes or your own mistakes. I'd rather learn from other people's mistakes.
Well said. Tom, I just have to personally thank you. I think you've had such a profound impact on so many people's careers, but mine personally, every time I go on video, I speak, I write, I always give you credit because your philosophies and things that you've invented have really helped shape tons of lives here in our practice. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel.
Appreciate you, man.